What's going on? Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, we're doing well. So now we're in this phase where, preseason is over, training camp is pretty much over, and you're starting to transition, sort of looking to the regular season. So feels like a normal time to ask you, what do you feel like you accomplished personally this summer in training camp, and what did you guys accomplish as an offense?
Yeah, I think, first off for me and the guys, I think just getting, accustomed to the new offense. I think the little nuances, situational football, getting – whether it's base down looks, third downs, getting into situational short yardage, red zone. I feel like kind of coming into the offense, just try to build chemistry, fine tune the details, and just follow our rules. But I think as a team, kind of what Coach Vrabel's preached was build a team, having guys earn a role, and then from there, get ready to go and get ready to compete week one. So I think the guys, really with joint practice, we got a lot of different looks. Our defenses gave us real good looks to every single day in practice. So the joint practice helped us get, somebody else to hit. And I think those guys handled it well. And now we're getting ready for Vegas and just building the bond with the guys that are going to be in the locker room ready to get some wins.
So, Drake, what would you say your comfort level is right now in the Josh McDaniels offense? I mean, I know you've had to switch coordinators each of at least the last 3 seasons from college into the pros. Would you say it's harder than anticipated? You comfy? Feel like you got a great firm grip on it? Yeah,
I think just building it every day. I think I'm getting more and more comfortable. I think coming into week one with the game plan, it'll be a little different. From some of the stuff we run in practice, just because you're studying the defense and studying stuff that looks good versus them. So for me, I feel good. I feel like I'm in a good spot. I think the guys are coming to work every day at practice, and right now, coach is working towards week one, and I think just fine tuning the details. And for me, just going back over stuff that may be simple, for me in the past, but just going back over the little things and the, little protection cues and stuff that may come up that we may haven't seen, just to be on top of my stuff, because you never know. Week one sometimes, defenses or you never seen somebody play a real game, so they bring stuff you may haven't seen.
One of the things that's gotten a lot of attention between Josh and yourself is him talking through your headset in the helmet up to the 15-second cutoff on the play clock. Just wondering how that's going. Is that something you're used to? Did that take a little bit of an adjustment to hear that sort of voice in your head as you assessed the field? How's that going?
Yeah, I think, last year AVP, I think did a little bit of it, and I think he always tried to, kind of give little tidbits of, hey, nice throw, or hey, get the guys going, or little things like that. And I think kind of Coach McDaniels, he does a great job of reminding me, reminders and other guys in the huddle and little things that can go a long way in the play. And it's really just more just communication, be on the same page with me and Coach. And I think it's a lot easier to practice it, than really in the games, because in the games it's real life and it matters, and those guys are hitting. So I think it's great for us to work at it every day in practice. And I think it's like anything that he's seeing or just ultimate communication of being on the same page is kind of the ultimate goal of it. And I think it's something that any quarterback, positive feedback and positive little words of encouragement is great inside the headset.
Patriots quarterback Drake Maye here with us on WEEI Afternoons on a Patriots Monday. Drake, I've wanted to ask you this for a while. When do you know you've got something special, like a connection with a receiver, back, tight end, whatever? Is it just like suddenly click for you, and then like, oh, we got a groovy little thing here?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think sometimes I don't know whether it's a throw in a game or repeated play or throw in a game that you get. I think you kind of feel like, okay, this is something we got going, and I think that's kind of something that you can build in practice, but really it's kind of it's proof when it happens in the game, kind of from practice. So I think I'm looking forward to seeing plays like that and seeing kind of relationships and stuff like that during the game that kind of comes to fruition. And I think that's one of the things you're most excited about is kind of, hey, when this guy gets in his open space, he's a problem. Or when this guy gets one-on-one and he's got this route, we got something good. So that's always the fun stuff. And it's something that you try to build in practice, like I said, but, it's really, week to week in a game, it's something that kind of in the back of your mind, hey, always got this, on with this guy or on this play. So that's a good question. It's fun to figure those things out.
Along those lines, Coach Vrabel was on the Greg Hill Show on our station this morning, and he said that Stefon Diggs is ready for the for the regular season opener, that he's gotten a lot of reps, even though we haven't seen him in live preseason action. Where do you feel like that relationship is with Steph Diggs, and is that something that is going to be sort of like what you just talked about, you feel good, but you'll feel even better when you get a couple games of real action under your belt together.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think he's coming to work every day at practice. He's coming to work, and he's running routes really hard. He's coming in and blocking in the run game. He's just trying to do all the things the right way to help make plays on the field. And I think that's what these guys, him and Mac and Booty and Pop and some of those veterans and guys that make plays in that room are starting to come in and work every day. And I think that's just going to help us in the long run, help us in the future, and help us week one.
So what's your relationship with Will Campbell like? I mean, the guy, when he was drafted, said he would die out there for you on the football field. I mean, do you take him everywhere? Is he like your personal bodyguard on and off the field?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say bodyguard. No, Will's my guy. I think, like I've said in the past, coming up to Boston for him from the South, and being leaving college early is really what top 5 pick is similar to kind of the journey I had, and I think the biggest thing for me is just to share my experiences and relate to them and be there with them and go out to eat with them, because last year I didn't have anybody to go eat with them, so go out there and hang out with them, and I know it's new adjustment coming here to a new city in the north, so I think just being there for him, hanging out and just keeping vibes high, and I think he's always smiling. And I think you see a different side of him when it comes to practice and game day.
How about that entire offensive line? Obviously, they've been a work in progress, different combinations, different results. How do you support that process? And are you hopeful that you'll get maybe 5 guys that then you can build a rapport with? How does that work?
Yeah, I think that's always the goal. And I think it's tough with injuries. It's tough with the nature of the business. And I think you're always trying to build 5 guys that you have a great feel for and a great comfort level with. But I think that's really just rare. You see all 17 games the same 5 guys. So I think just you're trying to build the stable connectivity between the guys up front that are in there, and maybe 6 or 7 guys, or however many. I think I just know the way they've been practicing and kind of the way they're hanging out and talking with me, that they're going to fight their butt off out there. When the ball is snapped, and they're doing everything they can. Possibility to get things going in the run game and help us in pass pro. So, I got full trust in those guys, and, looking forward to going out there and going to battle with them.
Drake, he's been one of the highlights of training camp, preseason, in the summer. Effton Chisum, undrafted rookie free agent out of Eastern Washington, Cooper Kupp University. Coach has praised his playing strength multiple times. He always seems to be popping up in highlights. Kind of came from out of nowhere. What do you think so far?
Yeah, I think it's just a great example of a guy coming in here and trying to earn a role, doing things the right way, hanging around a veteran like I always seen with Mac Hollins, of a guy who's done in this league, been in a lot of different teams, just hanging around him, going through plays, getting extra to conditioning. He's always in the treatment room. I always joke with him. He's always in there working on this and, get his body and getting healthy. I'm like, good gosh, he's the number 1 treatment guy. But, hey, that stuff matters. And I think, at the end of the day, stuff like that, showing up every day and doing things right, gets you on the team and gets you on the field, and it's what's made the Patriots so good in the past.
From the outside looking in, it seemed like you had a guy in Jacoby Brissett last year that was a good veteran to learn from, a good mentor. Now that's a little bit of a different setup. You're the starter. Josh Dobbs is the veteran backup that comes in. What is your relationship like with Dobbs, and what can you learn from him as you evolve yourself?
Yeah, I think first off, Dobbs is the man. I think this is another scenario of a guy who's been in the league, been in a lot of different systems. Played in some games, played in the game where he came in on a Tuesday, with the Vikings, and started Sunday. So he's seen a lot of different ball. He's been in a lot of different schemes, and I think there's a guy who has a lot of knowledge, and just trying to ask him questions and see how he's done things. And always, I think, in the quarterback room, just try to feed off each other and support each other. And I think he's been great, and he's been throwing it great in practice. So it's always good to know, a guy who has a lot of knowledge and also can show it when he's doing it on practice.
So Drake, I want to know, what's your level of input like when it comes to both like designing the offense and then potentially with cut down day approaching? Have they talked to you about any guys that you've got good vibes on or good feel for, or just how do they relate to you when it comes to all those specifics in terms of play calling, personnel, or what have you?
Oh, shoot. I got nothing to do with that. I think that, the front office and the coaching staff, that's what, their jobs to do. And I think, if they ask my opinion, I'll give it. But really, I'm just kind of out here to do my job, do my part, lead the guys, whoever's out there, and then the Patriots uniform. And then, from the scheme wise and the offensive scheme, I think your Coach McDaniel's offense has proven to be pretty darn good in the past. So just trying to learn as much as I can and execute when we get out there in week one.
Does anything feel any different, the excitement level as you prepare for the season opener as the starter? I mean, I'm sure going back to high school, there were, you were young, you weren't the starter, then you become the starter. College, same thing. Last year you played, but not the opening game. Is there any different juice as you look ahead to the season opener, knowing you're the starting quarterback?
Yeah, no doubt. I think it's, last year, preparing and trying to, kind of review the call sheet and kind of hit guys here and there, as the backup going into week one. I think there's always a different kind of juice when you're coming out here as a starter and you're right out there the first snap, and then the juices are flowing, and those guys are looking at me, and it's my huddle, and it's my offense. So I think it's a different feeling. I think I'm excited. That's one of the things I'm most excited for, to get out there and get to start week one. And I think with the home crowd in front of our fans, and I think there's a lot of build up always for week one, and I think it's always good to get out there and show out.
Drake, it's also our job to help people not just get to know Drake Maye, the competitor, Drake Maye, the quarterback, but Drake Maye, the person as well. So I know you're kind of getting down to all business now, but what was the non-football, non-wedding highlight of the summer?
Non-football, non-wedding highlight of the summer. Ooh. I broke 80 for the first time in golf.
Oh,
so
nice.
That's
Wow.
my highlight. Yeah. Shot 79 if that counts.
It sure does. You
yeah,
kidding me? I shoot a 179. Come on now.
I won't touch the clubs again until after the season, but hey, it was good. Good feeling out there. And other than that, I think just anytime hanging around my brothers, my three older brothers, whether it's playing golf or pickleball or being around them is always, a highlight.
Nice.
Time now for the quarterback question of the week. The quarterback question of the week is brought to you by Northeast Men's Health, the experts in treating men's sexual health with 6 New England offices, or at northeastmenshealth.com. This question comes from Joe in Lexington, and he wants to know, have you checked out the Tom Brady statue? And does that create any pressure, knowing that there's sort of a statue of the measuring stick at the position just on the other side of the end zone at Gillette Stadium?
Yeah, I think I always go check out the statue. I think once something that cool and that special is built and recognized for Tom, I think it was during a preseason game where they revealed it, and I came out here and watched his speech. I think he's always great at giving those types of speeches and hyping the fans up and just being authentic and real about what the game and how seriously he approached it and what the game did for him. So I wouldn't say it gives me any nerves or like expectation. I think it's just more of respect and appreciation for what he did, for the Patriots, for New England, and really for the NFL. So it's always pretty cool watching the film back and seeing number 12, in some of the same plays we're out there in practice today, kind of going through the same process and what he was thinking and how Coach knows what he was thinking. Just try to enjoy that and embrace that as much as I can, because that's really special and something that I don't take for granted.
You mentioned watching him speak. Do you do that with other quarterbacks? Because it's obviously quarterbacks do a lot of interviews and there's a lot of questions asked. Do you take notes and look at how guys answer certain questions, or do you just sort of go with your gut and wing it?
Yeah, I think that's really what, growing up and being in middle school and being in high school and, watching NFL games and watching them post press conferences or pressers on the field after the win. I think that's where I kind of remember and kind of got the most out of, in my young days of watching those quarterbacks that I beloved and wanted to be like and wanted to play like, and how they handled interviews and how they always put it on themselves and cared about the team and wanted to win and compete and competitive. I think that's kind of what was really the biggest thing I kind of got from being such a big fan of playing fantasy football and that stuff, and as a young kid, and that's kind of the biggest thing I took away from those quarterbacks like Peyton and Tom and some of those guys. I got a chance growing up in a great age of quarterback, so it's pretty cool.
All right, Drake Maye here with us on Patriots Mondays, WEEI Afternoons. Good luck this week. Enjoy the week, and then we'll talk to you next Monday.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Drake.